Most tattoo shop owners think that their insurance policy covers everything that happens inside their shop. It doesn't. And the biggest gap? Booth renters. If you have independent artists working inside your shop, there's a very good chance that you're exposed. And you don't even know it. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what those gaps are and a simple system that I would put in place if I was running my own tattoo shop. What's up, everybody? I'm Luis with Leal Insurance Services right here in San Antonio, Texas. And I've been in the insurance game since 2008. I specialize in helping small business owners just like you actually understand what they're buying, not just selling them a policy. And right now, I'm going deep into tattoo shop insurance. Not just as an agent, I'm looking at this from a lens as if I would open up and operate my own tattoo shop. So this isn't theory, this is real world protection. Let's get into it. First, we've got to clear something up. Not all artists in your shop are treated the same under Texas law. You've got employees and you've got independent contractors, AKA booth renters. An employee is someone whose schedule you control, how they work, maybe even pricing and process. An independent contractor is someone who runs their own business inside of your business. They set their own hours, they bring in their own clients, and they control how they perform their work. This distinction matters a lot, especially here in Texas where work comp is optional, but liability is not. Because if you misclassify someone, you don't just have an HR problem, you have a liability problem. Here's what I see most tattoo shop owners get wrong. They assume that their general liability policy covers everything that happens inside their shop. It doesn't automatically extend to independent contractors. Your GL policy is designed to protect your business, your operations, your employees, not someone else's business operating inside of your business. So if a booth renter messes up a tattoo or a client claims injury from their work, your policy as the shop owner may not step in. Now you're in a situation where the client is suing, an artist may not have coverage, and your name is on the lease and the lawsuit. If I were running a shop, I would have a non-negotiable 3-document system set up. First and foremost, certificates of insurance. Every artist that's independent needs to have their own insurance. And the COI must name you as an additional insured on the policy. This is not optional. The second thing is a written booth agreement. This defines that they are independent, that they carry their own insurance, and most importantly, that they're responsible for their own work. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist when something goes sideways. Number 3, client consent and liability forms. Every client, every time. Sign documentation that they understand the risk, they consent to the procedure, and acknowledging that aftercare instructions were provided. This isn't just paperwork, this is defense. Now, I want to clear up a huge misconception. Being listed on the policy doesn't necessarily mean that you're an additional insured on their policy. If you're just named on the certificate, that means nothing legally. Additional insured status gets you protection on their policy. Their insurance can defend you if you are ever pulled into a lawsuit. Coverage extends to your interests tied to their work. Without that, you're relying on your policy for their mistake. That's just not somewhere you want to be. Shop owners ask me all the time, should I carry one policy that protects everyone that works in my shop? The short answer is, it depends. Let's run through the pros and cons. Pros, simpler setup, easier to manage, consistent across the board for all the artists. Let's talk about the cons. Higher premiums. You absorb all the risk. Claims hit your policy directly. And potentially less accountability from the artists. Personally, I would lean towards each artist carry their own policy and you require additional insured status. Why? Because it creates separation and accountability. Let's make this real. A booth renter tattoos a client. The client develops an infection. They sue. Who's getting named in the lawsuit? The artist, the shop owner, but probably both. Now, here's where it matters. If an artist has insurance and you're named as an additional insured, their policy steps in first. Your defense costs may be covered. Your exposure is reduced. If not, you're fighting this on your own policy or worse, out of pocket. Let's talk about guest artists and conventions. These are high-risk situations because temporary setups, different environments, less control. If you're hosting a guest artist, you need to make sure you've got the following: proof of active insurance, additional insured status for your shop, a clear agreement that this is temporary work. Same thing if you travel. Don't assume that your policy follows you everywhere you go. Now, a COI, a certificate of insurance, is not enough. Here's how you verify. Check the policy effective dates, confirm coverage type. You want to make sure that it includes general liability and professional liability. Look for your shop to be listed as an additional insured on the policy. And last, call the agent and verify that the certificate is valid. Yes, I mean actually call. Because honestly, fake or expired certificates happen more often than you think. In Texas, classification matters. If your booth renter acts like an employee, is treated like an employee, you could be on the hook as if they were an employee. This impacts liability, work comp exposure, and legal responsibility. Your booth rental agreement needs to reflect that reality, not just what sounds convenient. If I was setting up a tattoo shop today, here's the system that I would put in place. Every artist has their own insurance. My shop has additional insured on their policy. Sign booth rental agreements, no exceptions. Client consent forms every single time. A verification process for every COI. Simple, repeatable, defensible. Look, most tattoo shop owners aren't doing this wrong on purpose. They just don't know where the gaps are. But now you do. And if you want help tightening this up, I've put together an insurance checklist that I'm gonna drop in the comment section below. You can download it and it's gonna walk you through step by step everything you need to know about your tattoo shop insurance. If you got any value from this video, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button below and share this video with another shop owner. Maybe they think that they're fully insured when the reality is they're not. I'm Luis with Leal Insurance Services, and this is how you protect your tattoo shop the right way.